Well, to get us up to speed on the latest, so we do have my colleague Hasina Gori in studio with us to tell us more. Thank you very much for joining us, Hasina. A terrible story, of course. 7 additional suspects appearing in court today. Tell us more.
So this afternoon, we're hoping at 2 o'clock to see those 7 additional suspects to be added to this specific charge. Yesterday, there were 7 that were brought in. Those were part of that 80 suspects that were already in court for the contravention of the Immigration Act. So what we've been told so far is that an identity parade has been held. It was held late on Tuesday, where the victim managed to identify some of those suspects. And that's how we've seen these 14 now being linked to these crimes. Today's 7 seems to have been arrested on a separate occasion from those that were arrested that day with the 80. So these 7 were supposed to be at the Randfontein Magistrate's Court for the contravention of Immigration Acts. Now, however, the entire matter will move to the Krugersdorp Magistrate's Court. Yesterday, we saw 2 minors that were part of this cohort of 7. One of them, there's still an age assessment that needs to be confirmed because he claims he's 15. The state says he may be 18. So they need to understand how must he be tried, whether or not as a juvenile or as an adult. That's also, there are reports that 1 more from the 7 that are going to be in court today may be also a child as well. So we'll wait to see when we go into court today what the 7 would be, who are they, whether or not we'll be able to name them, because in the case of the last 7, we could not even identify them as the ID period has not been done, but it is a rape matter. So until they plead, their names are usually kept, in the courtroom.
Yeah. Of course, there were lots of numbers being bandied about the potential number of men that were involved in the incident, up to 20, I understand. Are there expected to be more arrests in relation to this? So
what the state is also going to look for is that DNA test that was meant to be conducted, the DNA that was found on each suspect as well as on the victims as well, and whether any of those link anybody else to the crime. Right now, it's uncertain whether or not that has been done as yet. So we potentially could see more suspects being arrested. Yes.
And then on the ground, what's the feeling? Has it intensified? Are people happy that, of course, the suspects have been arrested in this regard?
I think speaking on the ground yesterday as well as today, we've heard a relief that at least some arrests have been done. Someone can be linked to it. However, people are asking, for that justice system to be done speedily, for justice to be brought for the victims, for the family. It's a very long way before I think there'll be closure for the family, but at least some kind of ease for them, that at least people can be held accountable for what was done to them. But from the community side, really saying that while this was one incident and that there has been, police intervention, there's been a lot of response, that there's multiple. This is not something that was isolated, that now policies need to be changed, that we need to see tangible change on the ground when it comes to police visibility, when it comes to immigration, as well as the mining institutes that are there, those illicit mines. I think that really calling for those now to be also curbed and for strategies to be put into place, that we don't see these illegal miners still roaming around, these mining still operating, and those kind of tangible
But what's your hunch though? I mean, it seems as though suddenly there's been this onslaught on illegal mining, and yet we know that it's been going on for years. The likes of Chriselle Lewis have done lots of stories about it, going actually underground, talking with the Zamas and the Zamas, and they tell the story of how they do it and so on and so forth. Do you think that this is the authorities acting up because of the rape incident, or that we're going to see sustainable change going forward and that illegal mining is going to be dealt with?
So we've asked this question to the police minister multiple times. Are they not being reactionary? And his response is that almost 2 years ago, they've identified hotspots, not just in Gauteng, but nationally, that they've been curbing on illegal mining. However, he conceded that when it came to the specific area in the West Rand, that they were reactionary, that they have let this community down. The police minister, the provincial police commissioner, conceding as well that maybe the police on the ground right now, the local police on that level, are not equipped to deal with illegal mining. They don't have the tools or the know-how of going into those trenches. These groups are believed to be heavily armed, heavily funded as well, because police say they go in, and we've seen them. We've gone with them where they've excavated certain of the areas where they are operating on the surface, to amalgamate these dust into nuggets. And they say come a week or two later, those operations are back up and running. So they are being funded. I think we need, for illegal mining to be curbed on a full whole-scale level, we're going to have to see a lot more being done, and not just, you know, picking up of illegal miners that are found, because it seems that there's a well supply of people that will work in those mines as well.
Hasina, thank you very much. An excellent reportage on this particular story. My colleague there, Hasina Gori.